Welcome to Fast Effect Double Speed Magic the Gathering. We got Brian on Grixis Control, and he's going to look to answer Ben's Mud list here. Mud, a deck that is proving to be popular, as well as really underplayed. And one of the strengths of the deck, of course, is the Soul Land, Mana Base, Ancient Tomb, and City of Traders, allowing for turn 1 Chalice of the Void. Ben does not have that, so we'll see what type of crazy plays are in store. Mud, despite wanting to have that early turn 1 play, does have plays all the way up and down the mana curve, as you can do some really explosive things, and you can play pretty much any colorless cards that you want. Ponder for Brian. And Mud really does put you to the test. Cantrips before the disruption shows up can be incredibly useful. Once you start seeing things like Trinisphere, it can be a real problem, and Cavern of Souls making for an uncounterable metal worker. I believe it was errated to be a construct. Brainstorm for Brian. New Strixhaven giving us Mystical Archive, giving us yet another Brainstorm art to consider. Personally, I like the Mercadian Masks Brainstorm. Oh wow, Trinisphere, Lodestone Golem, Kuldotha Forge Master. That is going to be 9 total mana. So we see a Trinisphere first, which gets Force of Willed. That may have been the more damaging card. Tough to say. Now we've got an uncounterable Lodestone Golem and a Cloudpost. Interesting. Liliana's Triumph is going to take out the Metalworker, but it's already done its damage. Lodestone Golem has arrived and is starting the beatdown, and, it's a Thalia on top of it. All of the non-artifact spells costing 1 more. That drawback actually probably, how to say this, Thalia's ability is worse. I mean, in Vintage, Lodestone Golem, not necessarily going to be as brutal as you want it to be, because your opponent can have Moxes, Black Lotus, Soul Ring, Mana Crypt, all sorts of artifact accelerants. So many decks are playing those artifacts. But in Legacy, I mean, very few artifacts floating around. And oh, wow, a Kolgan's Command getting a 2-for-1, but this Lodestone Golem still getting the work in. Will Brian find an answer? Grim Monolith will not soak up an Edict effect. A Lightning Bolt could totally stabilize for Brian, or he could be dead in 2 turns. He has a short window to find an answer. Brian now down to just 3. Oh, and another Lodestone Golem. He may just be done here. Believe we've got a Cling to Dust, just drawing a card, gaining some life, and that is going to do it. So Cling to Dust giving just a little bit of leeway had there not been a second Lodestone Golem, but those guys really team up to do massive chunks of damage. 10 at a time is going to get pretty much any opponent out of there very quickly. Just as a 5-power beater, that thing is dangerous. It was one of the best cards in Vintage. Never really worth any money when it was. I think now it's kind of on the rise. It's still only a couple of dollars. I probably have hundreds of that card. I would typically pull it out of bulk, just, when it was literally retailing for like 25 cents. I just wasn't super happy about selling it so cheap. So I do have quite a few of them. Seemed very likely that people would come around on the card eventually. Of course, if it had been reprinted a bunch of times, that would have probably been enough to make it so the price would never move. But it's been, I think, what, 1 reprint plus an arch enemy? He's like $1 or so. It'd be interesting if it didn't get reprinted in Modern Masters too. How much that might have ended up going to. Fetch for Brian. His mana base. You know, you got to be concerned potentially with Wastelands out of a colorless deck, but there's not going to be Back to Basics or Blood Moon. Glimmer Post into Manifold Key. Crazy that they printed that card. I mean, it's additional copies of Voltaic Key, which is already a vintage playable card. Of course, the majority of the reason you play it is because of its synergy with Time Vault, taking infinite turns, the namesake of the store. So, one of the most elegant combos in the game. And now we've got Grim Monolith. And this is really the original danger of Voltaic Key, was the ability to tap and untap Grim Monolith. Of course, Kai Bud's 1998 Wildfire deck introduced a lot of players to what a powerful Magic deck could be. Those World Championship decks kind of smashed the kitchen tables across the country. We've got Kroxa taking out Karn, which leaves the question, what on earth is in Ben's hand? Perhaps, I mean, I guess not mana. So Trinisphere and now Metalworker. So Trinisphere quite strong when your opponent's stuck on 2. Brian not going to have any plays. And Metalworker just showing 10 mana worth of cards. So he's going to have 13 total. And there's a Voltaic Key, which, interesting. Could have seen a tap and untap of the Metalworker to get like 20 mana. But instead we've got the Kuldotha Forgemaster grabbing that one-shot robot. Blightsteel Colossus is going to grab the boots, and he's going to start walking as Ben with the combo finish to that one. That is exactly what you're looking for when you sleeve that deck up. Just explosive, ridiculous plays. Nothing like casting Blightsteel Colossus and swinging for lethal in the same turn. That is all for this one, but don't worry, there is a lot more. You can check out our older videos, and we're always putting out new videos from ELD's Time Vault Games in Bellingham, Massachusetts. If you want to help the channel, of course, you can like, subscribe, share, tap that notification bell so you can know the next time our new videos come out. Thanks for watching.